By the way, since you're the Chinese Empire now, I'm sure you won't mind if I go ahead and declare war on Nepal as well. Because that's what I'm gonna do. We just need their capital, but I'll go after them everywhere so they can't decide to occupy some of our stuff. We can decide about the fate of Bhutan, but I'm not interested in taking care of that right now. Republic of China. What's this then? I see. The AOG is currently in the middle of a civil war against the so-called Republic of China. This is very interesting, and it could shape the situation as it develops in southern China, and how our actions against whatever nation-state emerges victorious here go in the future. Because if the AOG no longer exists, and it's just the Republic of China, then we don't have to worry about the diplomatic repercussions from making war on a German puppet state. We can simply conquer the Republic of China at our leisure, and there will be nothing to worry about. So, in fact, we want the Republic of China to win. As do the Russians, it seems. The Russians also want the Chinese Republic to win, but for different reasons, probably down to the fact that it means Germany loses. We want China to win for more logistical and strategic political long-term reasons. Whereas most other people probably want them to win for ideological reasons. We have more of a political outlook as far as that goes. And actually, it's time to start dealing with a few things. We have some needs that aren't being met over here. We'll start pumping out infantry divisions now. I'll add in tanks later on, once we have a more stable industrial baseline. But infantry are easier to produce, so we'll do just that for now. Our infantry is upgrading, and it appears some of Bhutan's troops keep showing up and trying to stay and fight. Idiots that they are. Or Nepal, rather. Bhutan used to be here, and we squished them. And as you can hear, from the ka-ching sound going on in the background. Right now, our troops are being slowly but steadily upgraded. Into the more modern versions. We'll want to get that all the way up to 1936. We still need to research the 1936 divisions, but we have taken away Nepal's only victory point, their capital. So we will now annex them, and they are now part of our glorious nation. So we will, of course, now begin the process of redeploying our troops along the border with the Yunnan. Putting a few there. It'll take a while, but that will be helpful. And our descent is now increasing because we aren't meeting our consumer goods needs. There. Now we're reducing it by 0.1, so we can rest easy. And things for the Republic of China appear to be going alright for now. Now, I'm going to drop another save real quick, and then we are going to address the fate of Bhutan. After our successful campaign in the Himalayas, we now have the task of establishing a new local administrative authority in order to restore peace. However, there are several options available to us. The fate of Bhutan. We are going to continue the military occupation, I think. Effectively, for the moment, Bhutan will be ruled directly by the Empire. Interceptor 1918 is done. We'll move on to the next level of interceptor. I want to get us up to Interceptor 1936 before I start looking at other types of fighters. I didn't even know they were in war, but the Italian Federation has just been annexed by the Commune of France. I think we can expect some of that to be handed over to the Socialist Republic of Italy, since they are allies, but then again, maybe not. I have seen. Yeah, return the province to the Italians in redrawing the map. They did go with it. Sometimes I've seen France just decide, screw Italy, we're keeping the northern half of the peninsula. But they didn't. And now Italy is unified under the commies. I wonder how that is going to affect the war that is to come between Germany and France. We'll have to wait and see. And the Union of Britain thinks bringing socialism to Norway is nonsense, apparently. I wonder why. Why they would think such a thing. Soviet Russia has declared independence from Russia. The Russians have decided to wait, so I bet you Soviet Russia takes the initiative and declares war. Dual power. Goods from increased legations. Oh, this is that big one I was talking about. The thing you get with the United States that makes it so hard. Reed declares the workers' state. Rise of the CSA. The combined syndicates of America have declared independence from their former oppressors in the United States of America. They selected Norman Thomas to improve workers' rights in the Second American Revolution. They had rise of the CSA militias. The Combined Syndicates of America had end the USA, and Reed and the CSA secede. The Combined Syndicates of America have declared war upon the United States. And CSA influence has expanded. Long senses weakness and the Montana National Guard. Yeah, it's just the CSA versus the United States for now, but that's going to change very shortly. It won't stay just like that for long. We're gonna have some other breakaway factions soon, and the CSA's territory is going to grow, because it said their influence expanded. That means certain territories near what they've got right now are going to leave the US and join the CSA. And, like I said, we have the American Union State breaking away as well. Long declares the United States a dead nation, the rise of the AUS. And the Second American Civil War. And now, let's get through all these events. The American Union State went with death to the CSA, and Long and the AUS secede. They declared war on the United States. And they also went with the CSA must be destroyed in dealing with Reed and the CSA, and declared war on the Combined Syndicates of America. So now we have a three-way civil war going on, with the United States federal government being at war with the CSA and the AUS, and the American Union State being at war with the United States federal government and the CSA being at war with the United States government and the American Union State. So everyone is fighting everyone right now. Yep. This civil war in America is going to get messy, I can tell you that much. And that's not even all of what we're going to see over here. Just wait and see, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The German Empire just decided they don't give a damn. Russia has declared war on the Soviets now. So we have a Russian civil war underway as well. Right now there are two major civil wars going on in the world. One in the United States and one in the Russian Republic. And those aren't even the only civil wars we're going to see. This is Kaiserreich, and if there's one thing I know about this mod, it's that you get civil wars out the bloody wazoo all the damn time. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on the world, because civil war is the order of the day in this mod. For now, though, I'm going to change things to Style 3 and bump us up to very fast. Canada and Japan are sending aid to the Russians. The Panama Canal has been seized by the Canadians. California has left the Union. This is what I meant about it not staying just with the two of them. California has seceded. The East Coast has declared their independence. And that is... Idaho joins them. That's odd. I never see Idaho join. Never. This is new for me. Yeah, the Pacific States of America over California and everything, and Idaho apparently, have just declared independence from the United States. But they have yet to decide what their foreign policy will be towards America. I can see it go a couple of different ways. I've in the past seen the Pacific States not actually fight America and just sit there and do nothing. I've seen them go to war and march to about the halfway point of the US, and I've even seen them ally with the United States, help them fight off the Union State and the CSA, and then, once the war's over, diplomatically agree to rejoin the Union. I've even seen that happen. It all depends. We'll have to wait and see what the Pacific States decide to do. It's gonna be interesting, I can tell you that for sure. Hawaii has revolted. This is another thing that'll always happen. Hawaii decides they don't want to be ruled by the US anymore. And America will have a fairly difficult time getting Hawaii back, because of the fact that it's so far out, and if I remember right, the US's naval landing technologies, when they start out, they don't have the range they need to invade Hawaii from the coast of California. They don't have the naval invasion range they need. So, if you were playing as Japan, this would be like Christmas come early. America's been effectively neutered, and you can just go wild in the Pacific. It would be great fun if you were Japan. Okay. And America is really in a tough spot. They've just revoked the Monroe Doctrine, and have lost a bunch of stuff to Cuba and Canada, just nabbing their shit. But there are two other things I'm waiting to see if they happen. We shall see. And a bunch of their islands in the Pacific have been occupied by Japan. Nice. The Pacific States went with, we cannot risk a war in Pacific States of America independence. So, they are right now just neutral. They're just sitting there doing nothing. They decided to not do anything and just wait it out. Canada has seized control of Alaska. They always do this. They just decide Alaska is ours now and deal with it. And you can get it, America can get it back if they win the war, and they can just demand Alaska, and Canada usually gives it to them. But they obviously have to win the war first. And the early stages right now, the US federal government does not appear to be doing too well. Of course, it's difficult to see this early on, but they're losing ground in a lot of places, and that generally doesn't bode well. Our latest industrial project is finished up. we're going to move down this tree and getting basic computers, and then move on to decryption, so that we can actually see the troops that our enemy is using. Alright. Refugees from occupied territories for the Americans. That's nice. Death of Ronald Reagan. Wow. I'm not bothering to read too many of the events about other factions, just because I'm generally focused on my own little corner of the world, especially as China, where China itself is what I care about most, and things outside of that I tend to ignore. Russia went with the Finns won't get an inch, and Finland makes its move, and Russia declared war on Finland. Oh dear, Russia may have done something fairly stupid. Because generally, I tend to see Finland fight alongside Russia in their civil war. This may end up with a communist Russia that's won through civil war. That may end up being what happens. And generally, in my experience, that kind of Russia does not go too well. For a lot of reasons. Mainly the fact that one that's won through civil war rather than diplomatic reform tends to be pretty unstable, and as a result, it doesn't have the military or industrial might it needs to stand up to Germany, Japan, or any other major power that really wants to push them around. So they tend to not actually end up accomplishing a whole lot if a Soviet Russia ends up forming through a civil war as opposed to diplomatic relationships and reform. The United States just had to cede a bunch of territories to Mexico. As this is the territories that America won from Mexico in the war with Mexico during the Manifest Destiny era. And Mexico's just reclaimed them because America is too busy on these fronts to fight on that one, so just decided to give up without a fight. But those territories have a lot of revolt risk, so Mexico's probably going to have some trouble ruling them for some time. And I don't know if they'll ever actually manage to take them and get those places to be Mexican territories again, rather than American territories owned by Mexico. That's the best way I can put it. Mexico, though, has now gone to war with the Pacific states. The Mexicans are really quite ambitious with where they're going. Indeed they are. Then again, Mexico is essentially communist in this time frame, so it does kind of fit that they would be rather ambitious. And I'm seeing that there has been no revolt by Korea or Taiwan. Unfortunate. It really is quite unfortunate. I would have liked Japan to be busy with that. But the Republic of China has just annexed the AOG. So, Germany has just lost the whole of southern China to rebels. Because that's how it works around here, apparently. Lose the whole of your puppet to rebels. American volunteers, Federalist terror, whatever. We finished our research into the 1936 infantry divisions. So what I'm going to do now is do a little work on our... Let's see... First of all, I'm going to start research into large front. We are using the manpower focus as the Qing, so that's the sort of thing that we want to look into. The decision reuniting China and German territories is available, apparently. But we can't do it yet because we have to control all the Republic of China's stuff. The fact that Germany has gone away, let's just say, is, in terms of southern China, is good and bad. It's good because we can wipe out the Republic of China and take over that region without having to fight the Germans. It's bad because if the AOG had stuck around, there was a chance we would be able to take them over and completely annex their country through a decision. That option is gone now. But the Republic of China is pretty low on my list of priorities for which nation I'll be going after next right now, quite frankly. Because before I do anything with them, the Yunnan clique and Mongolia need to be dealt with. Mongolia, the reason for them is very simple. They're an obvious threat, sitting on my northern border, and they're run by an insane Russian guy who thinks he is God Emperor of Mongolia or something. So we need to deal with that, and I'd already committed to a war with the Yunnan clique before I went after southern China. So we want to deal with them. And then we have India right here. Sitting there, nice and ripe, and just available to us. Burma, the Bhartiya Commune, the Princely Federation, Madras Republic. We'll have to leave this little place here. I'll have to leave Sri Lanka, or whatever it is, here alone. Because that's owned by Germany. But. We have an opportunity here to expand our empire into India. However, I will probably not end up going after Delhi. Simply because if we decided to fight Delhi, we would end up at war with the rest of the Entente. In other words, Canada, the Caribbean Federation, and National France. And I would rather avoid that particular headache for the time being. I mean, sure, it probably wouldn't end up meaning anything, but I still want to avoid that sort of problem. So, for the time being, I'm going to restrict my expansion in India to everyone that's not in the Entente. And then I'll probably go through Turkestan and I will consider heading into Persia. After all, we are the glorious Chinese Empire. Why should we not extend our empire into the Middle East and even Eastern Europe? I mean, other than the fact that everyone will hate us as a result and we'll end up at war with the entire goddamn world, but, you know, no big deal, right? But as far as this particular recording session goes, I actually think I'm gonna leave it here. I've been going for about an hour and a half now, and I think that's a good length of time, especially considering what we've accomplished. Reunifying a good chunk of China, and making a few pushes into India. We've done quite a bit, and I look forward to seeing what we end up doing next time. But for now, I'm gonna leave it here. So, this has been DarkPhoenix Gaming. Thank you very much for watching my Let's Play of Kaiserreich as the Qing Empire. If you've enjoyed this, please leave a like, share this video with anyone else you think might also enjoy it. Comment down below if you want to offer me tips or suggestions, tell me how badly I suck, or just give me ideas on where to go in future. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. See you then, folks. See you then.